fun last night? Look at that. Look at that. She plays with her shaving bags. She'll like take them off and throw them around her stall. I started riding, I think, when I was about 5 or 6, can't quite remember. And my mom got me into the sport because she always had horses growing up, and I just thought that was like the coolest thing ever. So she signed me up for a few lessons, and I was about 12, and I stopped taking lessons, and we started to look for a horse. We weren't really serious about it because my mom always figured I'd grow out of it, as most children do. It's just a hobby. And got my first horse, Bella, when I was 12. And I think ever since I had her, everything's sort of changed. It has turned from a hobby to a full lifestyle now, which I do not recommend to people because it's very hard. Long hours, not a lot of pay, and very stressful. But us horse people are crazy enough where we love it so much that we do it constantly, no matter what. And I think if you ask the majority of the horse people in the world, they wouldn't give it up for that. They keep going. Well, good morning. This is Bella. I've had Bella for almost 10 years. Next year will be 10 years. And we're going to be celebrating both of our 21st birthday this year. So big birthday party. It'll be a lot of fun. But she's still not allowed to drink. And like, you know, people see horse people as kind of like this big fantasy almost. Where like, oh, you have horses, that's awesome, you know, and they have this wild imagination where you just run out into the field and you jump on the horse and the horse gallops off and everybody lives happily ever after. In reality, you jump on the horse and the horse bucks you off and you fall. And it hurts. If you're like me, you're one of those horse people where you spend more time working for your horse instead of actually like being around your horse. Grooming's nice though, I guess, because you get a chance to actually pay attention to your horse and you can feel if there's anything wrong. If they're not feeling well or they have something that's swollen. Whereas if you just come and you don't groom, you might never see it. Found a lot of cuts and bruises that way. Saves you trouble. Alrighty then. Maintenance crew. Dangerous. I'm a mucker. Mucking is what I do. We wanted to make t-shirts this summer because we have a day camp. So we wanted to make t-shirts this summer. And it says, I muck for a living. I want that one. It's true. Some people don't like mucking, but I actually do enjoy it. I think it's kind of peaceful. Just stick my headphones in and I can clean stalls. We clean about almost 200 a week. And water buckets, about 200 water buckets, about 200 stalls. So you get used to it, but it is one of the less glamorous jobs of owning a horse. I guess it's like owning an elephant or any big creature. There's a downside to it. That's the mess they make. I go to 4 different barns and I clean at three of them. Doing the same thing I do now. Feeding horses, turning out, cleaning stalls, cleaning water buckets, rake, sweep, drop hay, unload feed, blah, blah, blah. Basically the same thing. Anything that's back-breaking work you can pretty much find in a barn. Although I do think the funniest thing is when you have someone brand new to a barn and they're you make them clean a stall for the first time, and they had this horrible look come across their face because they suddenly can't breathe. And I never really can understand it because I can't smell anything anymore. You tend to lose your sense of smell. So I just sit there and laugh at them and wonder what's wrong. Or like you have them work for an hour and they're like exhausted. And you're like, no, you don't understand. You have 10 more hours of this. And there's no breaks. You gotta keep going. You have to eat your lunch while you work. This happened to my friend the other day. She was really hungry, so she walked into a McDonald's, which it doesn't really even matter, but she walked in and the person behind her said, I smell horse. And she realized the last second that she hadn't changed her clothes. So she like reeked of horse and everybody's like in line, they're all looking at her. She's like, yeah. But it was really funny because the lady giving her food actually owned horses. So she's like, I love the smell of horse. And she was like freaking out. It was so funny. Horse people are everywhere, they're just hiding. Really? Ellie. Okay, hang on. Big muscles. I gotta roll the hose. I love my life. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job. I said that, right? I love my job. I just keep telling myself that. Okay. Go! Okay, there's a snake skin in the hay. Yeah. I don't want to touch it. Very gross. Just paper, it's just paper! It's so gross. Yuck! I'm such a girl. Ew! My future goals, I guess, are just to own my own boarding barn someday, and maybe have a couple lesson horses. I don't know, maybe get another horse of my own. At this point, I'm not sure what I want to do for college, and the horse career in and of itself is kind of hard to get into and keep going. But I guess if you're determined enough to do it, you'll do it. And this is what I love to do, and this is what I'm good at. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.